We now turn our attention to the economic situation in Sierra Leone. What's certain is that the future president will have major challenges ahead. The country is particularly affected by inflation. Let's listen in on some of the views by inhabitants of the capital, Freetown.
Sierra Leone's Wednesday general election has drawn mixed reactions from the business community. Some are optimistic that a new system that will be voted in by the majority will address some developmental issues. Until 2014, the government had relied on external assistance to support its budget and is gradually becoming more independent. A few others feel nothing can be implemented by the government after the election. Citizens, on the other hand, are feeling the pinch of the harsh economic due to rising food prices. Business before the election, prices were very low, but now, because of the election, things have gone up. Even the prices of pepper has gone up, onion too. Right now, things are very hard for people without money.
Very hard for we will not get money better.
In recent years, economic growth has been driven by mining, particularly by iron ore, the country's principal export, and also diamonds and rutile. The West African economy is vulnerable to fluctuations in international markets, but this has not reflected in the lives of Sierra Leoneans. Business is not running well in this election. There's no money. People are not buying. We put our food stores and they get rotten because all the buyers are complaining, maybe after the elections. Business is slow. People are not buying so often. But we are coping. However, we hope business will come back to normal state after the election. The ruling All People's Congress has made several efforts to develop critical sectors of the country, which include roads and basic infrastructures. There are two major projects: construction of a new airport and a toll road project linking Freetown to other provinces, has widely been criticized by the opposition Sierra Leone People's Party.
Now this brings us now to Ernest Bai Koroma, the outgoing president. After 10 years at the helm, he admitted that not everything was perfect. So what did he accomplish during his two-term tenure? Joining us online from Freetown is Sierra Leonean journalist Eric Kawa. Hello Eric, in 10 years, what has changed in Sierra Leone under Ernest Bai Koroma?
Based on the question you asked, can Ernest Bai Koroma claim? I can say yes, he can claim that he has actually made some changes over the years. But analyzing some of the changes that he's made over the years, since he's been in office for a decade now, in terms of infrastructure, the president actually tried his best in trying to ensure that some areas have been developed, especially looking at the area of roads. That is one of the main developments that his government can at least point to. That is one thing that they have been able to give more concentration on. Also, they implemented the free health care system, which was launched in 2010, catering for under 5 children and breastfeeding mothers. Also, I can talk about tourism. The tourism sector has been also a great one in his assumption of office since he assumed office in 2007. Though critics or other people would say maybe the amount of money that was supposed to be spent for a particular project was exceeded. But however, we can say at least those things were seen, and at least his government can point out on such things that have been one of the things that have been contributed by his government.
Looking at the country's economic situation, what should the incoming president expect?
I'll base my discussion based on both sides. Let me take a look at the positive aspects. First, I can say the platform has been laid in several other places, so more improvements need to be done in that aspect to develop it. Negative aspects of it, you mentioned that we are one of the unemployment rate is as high as 70%, and we have diamonds, we have iron ore, we've got lots of mineral resources, but unfortunately, when you come to the country, you wouldn't feel or see the impact that these minerals are actually doing to the lives of the ordinary people, because even majority of the people do go to bed very hungry, and find out that lots of things are not actually happening as they are supposed to be happening. Corruption also is on the way, overtaking almost all sectors of the life. But there have been people putting things in place, like talking about the Pay No Bribe campaign, which was launched, and then lots of other, the Anti-Corruption Commission trying to do the best, though nothing improved in that aspect of corruption, because the country still remains as one of the most corrupt countries. Even the recent index that was released also listed us as one of the poorest, as one of the corrupt countries, which means more needs to be done in terms of improving and helping to fight against corruption.
Now, the country faced the Ebola epidemic between 2014 and 2016. How was this crisis handled by Koroma's government?
It made us largely unprepared, and many people died because of the poor healthcare system that was in place. And even after that, the Ebola also helped to cripple the health system and even the economy. So yes, the government they tried their best in ensuring that they put some measures in place, working together with other partners, international bodies, to ensure that the Ebola was actually the fight against the Ebola was actually to an end. But we tried it, but many people were still questioning about the money, the things that people received for the Ebola money, that it's yet unaccounted for. Now, that is one reason which many people are still calling for people to account. Also faced with the recent mudslide that we saw recently, people are still also calling for accountability for those money. But overall, I think the Ebola came and the government instructed measures, and they ensured that it was at least addressed as quickly as possible. Though we lost many lives, many people became homeless, many people became, in the sense of being orphans, and lots of other problems we faced during the Ebola crisis.